There we go. Okay. Hello, everybody. Tom Caldabiano here. Everybody loves Raymond 360, ELR 360 Live. Wow. We are, let's see this. Let's go back to this. Hello, everybody. Yeah. So I went live. Sometimes when I go live, it doesn't exactly go live on Instagram. And then I have to go back, cancel everything, and then go back and rewrite everything, which is which forms a delay. All right. So I'm assuming that everybody can hear me perfectly loudly. Is that what it is? Okay. Let's see this. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's look at this. So what I'm looking now is at just to make sure that we are live on Rose Raymond thing. Yes. Hello, Scotland. Hello, Lexington, Massachusetts. Hello, Mona in Connecticut. Wow. Montreal, Canada. Close enough. Yes. Checking all the things. Hello again. Yes, there we go. Tom Caldabiano here. Everyone's Raymond 360, ELR 360 Live. I was a writer on Everyone's Raymond. If you're watching us on YouTube and going, I don't care, why am I watching this feed? It's because it's fans of the TV show. Everybody loves Raymond. So we go in deep depth about the show, everything we possibly can talk about for those who are super fans. Hello, State College, Pennsylvania. Hello, Kristen. Hello, Woodstock. Yes, New York City. I've heard of New York City, which is awesome. Yes. Great. So now I can keep up with those little comments. Let me look at my phone here. So let's talk first things first. We do have, if I get sent a link to the account where we can, you ready for this? Drum roll, please. Order the Christmas ornaments that we've all landed on. Great. Thank you for everybody for your input on that. And some people are writing, isn't it too early? How dare you, Tom? I will not sit here and have you talk about Christmas when we haven't discussed the bird episode, the Thanksgiving episode, or the Halloween episode. But it's not like I have a little garage and I sit there and bang out the Christmas ornaments of your heart's desire. We have to send it to a company that makes them, and then they make them, and then they get sent to a person who does a thing. So there's a little bit of what they call lead time on those. But I think what's good is that everybody liked so many of the options that this is always a good sign when everybody likes one of the options, and of course they're afraid. They're like, I don't want to knock this one out of the running. So they're very polite. Of course, all of our listeners are polite, or we get rid of them. So a link to the shop, I'm going to show it to you. Let me see if I can do this on my computer. Let's do this. Yes. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. Wow. All right. So I'm looking at them. And the Frank one I don't see, but I know it's going to be up there. Okay, so how do I do this in the easiest way? Because I have so many devices open. Hold on, I have an idea. Here we go. Let me go back to this stream. Then I do this. Then I click here. Then I click here. So now I will hold this up to the camera. Here we go, everybody. So this is my phone, so it can't show everything at once. But there you go. Available. $10 US. Now, I think, I don't know what shipping is on it. It should be somewhat reasonable, but there we go. And then all of your choices, because too many things got too many votes. So there were no thumbs down, and people were torn between these two. Okay, so just so you know, the one is almost the full cast from the cover photo that I took during the filming of the bird for the book. Then the other one is also, of course, a photo that I took during the filming of the finale. So a lot of you are very astute in your observations. Here we go. The entire cast is in this one, and it's a very casual, candid photo. I'll have to look through my others. So some people commented, I love it, because they're not looking at the camera and they feel like they're really alive. And other people say, they're not even looking at the camera. So you can't, and they're looking at the camera because I said, please look at the camera. So again, for those of you who are really big fans, you'll know that was during the filming. Sorry, I can't hold my hand any steadier. During the filming of the bird episode, which, that's what you're going to do. Okay, so now, beautiful. Yes. Okay, it's just, we'll check back on that. Okay, just not, yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm reloading. Yes, here, I'll show you the phone here. Let's see this. Let me load it again. The Peter Boyle as Santa Claus is one of my favorite photos that I took during the entire run. Okie dokie. There we go. So that one, and I want to bring awareness with this to the multiple myeloma organization that Lorraine Boyle puts her heart and soul into, of course, the disease that ultimately took Peter away from us. But that one also available. And that one, folks, I don't want to say that we are giving a bargain, but whatever we can sell them for, that's pretty much cost. That's what they are. So this one is $8. Is that right? Yes, $8. Okay. There we go. Okay. So enough of the shameless promotion of the Christmas ornaments, but now the lead time. We need the lead time. We have to decide on that, have everybody vote. I'd like to be taking that vote on December 3rd or something like that, but then we wouldn't get them in time. So order away. I will be ordering mine, and as soon as I receive it, I will post a picture. Okay, let's catch up on a couple of comments here. Love that photo. Okay, so here we go. This is called a compliment, putting a compliment forward. Yes, here we go. Let me see. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Let me do this. So for people I recognize, I throw them up there. Yes, you are. Okay. All coming in from Facebook. Okay. But it doesn't show the name. That's so weird. Interesting, right? It just says Facebook user. So do you have to sign your name? I don't know. I think that's new. Facebook. So everybody is coming across as Facebook user. Very interesting. Let's see. Here's a big one. Hi, Tom. 2 comments. In Ray and Deborah's living room, there was a dresser of sorts behind the couch. With a bunch of knickknacks. Did any hold any significant memory for them? Did any significant hold? Yes. So a lot of them are, one of them is a picture of Nemo's, the team, the real life softball team that Ray and his brother Richard and his brother Robert in real life played in a league that I played for as well, way back when, before I was Raymond. And other stuff that I'll have to look through. I don't know if Patricia Heaton, Patty Heaton, had pictures. I know there's pictures of her with her own kid on the refrigerator. But you know what? That makes for a good show. We'll go through every single knickknack on that thing. And of course, it changed over 9 years. And some people say, why did it change? And so I assume people, when they live their normal lives, change that. Okay, just watch Robert's wedding again. Line said, Peter had squirrels juggling knives in his head, was absolutely brilliant. Yes, a very funny line. I don't know who wrote that line. Somebody on our staff wrote that line. Could have been Phil Rosenthal. I think he wrote that script. Did he write Robert's wedding? I think so. Yes, you are welcome. I want that. Yes, can't wait to. Yes. Where can we order them? Yes, there is on the Facebook page. I think I can share it somehow here, but not sure how exactly yet. But you just go to ElLR360shop.com. It's everywhere, all around our site, and it'll pop up, and you'll know you're on your shop. By the way, I do see some weird places that, this is our site. So when you're here, hold on, camera, trying. That is us. Okay. I'm operating on very little sleep for a while, so I apologize if I seem hyper. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, scrolling through credit. This is great. This is great. Hi, Trish. Yeah, so you guys can see now it only says Facebook user. That's an interesting change because it used to not. So aloha all from Facebook user has to be Bobby S. Let's see. I am obsessed with the fact if there was a room or hallway beyond the basement door, it makes me crazy. Wondering what it was supposed to be. So there's a lot of debate about this because in the living room, when they introduce the cast, they come out from the mystery hallway area. We know that Ray would go down the steps to go to his office. Now, online somewhere, I think somebody did a whole layout of the show. And you have to remember, a lot of people who have a little bit of heat, let's call it heat, where they're like, why did they not use the front door or a different door all the time? I need answers. I know in the East Coast where I grew up, you would sometimes use the front door and sometimes use the back door. It's very common to go around to the back of the house. So that, and for the most part, I think a lot of people don't use the front door and just use the back door or a side door or something like that. The hallway falls under that same thing. When they make a show, they just want to make the show go on the air. They're not saying, so if this was the Architectural Digest TV series, then there would be zero incongruity where they go, wait a minute, that hallway, and I'm looking at the outside window, and Phil Rosenthal and Raymond are just trying to get a show on the air. So they're the set dressers like, what about this look? And they go, okay. Now, they don't sit there and they go, okay, we have 9 episodes ordered. They don't sit there and go, to Donna, not Donna Stamps, really. Sharon Bussey was the designer, as far as I know. There's a really official name, but she did the layout. She would come in with architectural drawings of the stage, etc. So if Phil in the first 3 episodes said, Sharon, this show will be on the air for 25 years and examined over and over again. So I need to make sure that the front window aligns with the window on the exterior of the house that we took in the, Phil's and Ray are going, oh no, our ratings are terrible. We're going to be canceled. So is that something that slipped through the cracks? It's not really on the radar. I don't think I've told this story ever. I became friends with a Navy SEAL who was the consultant on Hawaii Five-0. And he was going through the script and I was helping him. And he was going, he was just sitting there going, no, you don't blow a door like that. You don't. And he was getting all hung up on the details. And I said, the showrunner of the show, the head writer, for those of you that are new to the terminology, they are sitting there going, how do we make the best drama? Not how do we do a Navy SEAL training video? So he's saying, the Navy SEALs like, oh, but my friends are going to watch this and they're going to be like, hey, nice going. Way to go. Like, are you sure you were even putting your 2 cents in? So there's a pecking order of priorities. And I would say the architectural layout of Ray and Deborah's house being in alignment with reality is very low on the totem pole, unless it just completely is all over the map and it takes the audience out. So most people, I would say, don't even know, wouldn't even notice certain things. Now, having said that, people who are into wardrobe really notice wardrobe, and people who are into makeup really know Doris's makeup or Patty's makeup, or are into hair, they notice their hair. So everybody knows these details. So, okay, let me see. Oh, I can do this. Oh, this is very helpful. Okay, I can do this. Okay, so here. Okay, this is really helpful. Okay. Let me see. Sorry, my ums are deliberate in order to bore people and give a lack of professionalism. Let's see. Leo, yes, thanks for doing this podcast for the past 4.5 years. By the way, we still haven't even launched the podcast yet. The podcast will allow you to listen without having to look at me. for an hour, which podcasts allow you to multitask where you go, okay, I missed that last 15 seconds or last 4 minutes, but I'm okay doing that. I went to the Everett Raymond Facebook page. It appears there's been no activity since 2023. Any particular reason? This might be a good time to highlight other Facebook pages that aren't official or even good. What is the Everett Raymond Facebook page? Is that the official? Do they have a check mark? Because that gets into a gray area where Everett Raymond Facebook page was run by TV Land. I think it had 1 million followers, but it was incredibly inactive. So I'm not here to boast, but I'm probably the only official Facebook page or page of somebody who worked on the show. And I love that there's a bunch of Facebook pages that shows that there's a big following. And I love it when somebody writes a comment and it gets, 400, or writes a question and it gets 400 comments. I love that. So Maureen, we will look into that. Let me check. Let me see if I can multitask. Let me see if I can multitask without, and here's the problem, without killing the broadcast. Okay, hold on. No, this is easy. I can do this. You know what? Let me do some my taxes also while I have some of these windows open. Yeah. So excellent question. Excellent question. Yeah. If I'm sent a link, I can pull it up easier. Leo says, just to say thanks for doing this. Yes. 4.5 years. For 4.5 years. So it was the beginning of COVID. As I reminisce. What do I want to say? The thought was way before then to share my pictures. So for those of you that are new, watching on YouTube Live and going, who is this guy? I was officially a writer, but I was unofficially a photographer. And so I'm a photographer and I take a lot of pictures. And so I took a ton of pictures. We published a book using my photos. Simon & Schuster published a book called Everett Raymond, Our Family Album. I patterned it after a book that was written by Herman Leonard, where he took pictures that he took, famous pictures of some famous people like Frank Sinatra, who you may have heard of. And he wrote his handwritten captions. And so that's how I came up with the idea to have Ray and Phil, who were the two most important people behind and in front of the camera, not taking anything away from Doris Roberts or any of the other rest of the cast, but Phil and Ray were in on every single moment of every story. So they had their handwritten notes, which I will talk about making the book another time. The photos in the book were 307 photos, and I had 30,000 photos. So I thought when COVID hit, I go, okay, let me just share photos. Then I thought let me just start. So we're all homebound. So let me just start talking about the show, and we'll do it for a couple of weeks until this thing blows over. And now 4.5 years later, it has not. Gina, why are there so many? Are you pounding your fist, or are you just casually, like we were at a bar, going, I have a question. Gina asks, why are there so many opening theme changes throughout the year? So did Friends only have one? I'm curious. Do most shows only have one? I think Phil had a couple ideas that came to him. Of course, there was the initial opening to the show. And then I think Phil had a bunch of ideas throughout to change up the opening. I don't know whether it was, it's weird. I don't know whether, sorry, it's not weird. It's not the norm to change your opening every single season or every other season or whatever, because it costs money. And networks always want to save money because they're in business. So once they're making money, they're not thinking, we can get new viewers by adding Jungle Love to the opening. So I think it was driven by Phil, but possibly from the network as well. It's not a bad thing to have a new opening. It's just not that common, I would say. So there you go. It was not, because that's what we should do. We should vote another time on who had a favorite opening. The football opening, yes. So it must be YouTube is giving me, so let's see this. So here, I love the opening when they're playing football. Okay, so that story, which I will tell more at length when we get later in the football season, that was a commercial. And then it became the opening credits because it was so good and so funny. And to see Doris Roberts missing a tooth Of course, that's great. Okay, let me go. Wow, this is like all questions all day. Oh, let me see. Is this is upside down? And let me turn this around. There is a check mark, and I checked again, and there's a limited activity this year. Yeah, so I do think that this is, and I'm sorry, everybody, that your names aren't coming through. Hi, Kim, you're freezing on your end, and you're down south, so you're the broadcast is freezing for you. Yes, what I'm thinking about is how deep do I want to get into this subject? But here, I will tell you really quickly. The show, unlike Friends and Seinfeld and other juggernauts, has fallen a little bit between the cracks because there's no leading studio. So Friends is NBC, Universal, and Warner Brothers. So when you go to the Warner Brothers studio, even though we filmed at Warner Brothers Studios, there's zero trace of Everest Raymond except for a little teeny plaque on the wall, which our good friend Gil has seen, and a few others who have taken the Warner Brothers tour. Because we aren't owned by Warner Brothers. So I don't want to get into corporate mergers and stuff like that, but Everest Raymond fell through the cracks. It was started by David Letterman's company, Worldwide Pants, HBO Independent Productions, and CBS. Worldwide Pants is gone. HBO Independent Productions is gone. And so CBS sold the international rights to Sony, et cetera. So the Facebook page, which I think was started by TV Land, just falls through the cracks. It's kind of this mystery thing as opposed to Friends and Seinfeld where they're crazy active and they're pushing stuff, and you can find a Seinfeld dedicated thing and you can find a Friends store. If you go to Warner Brothers, there's acres of Friends merchandise and a dedicated Friends store just for Friends. And if you go to New York, you can go to the Friends Experience. With Everybody's Raymond, there's no mugs even for sale. Like, we're the only ones selling mugs. So that's the mystery of the Facebook page check mark, that there's not a lot of activity there. Okay, speaking of mugs, here we go. The fan designed quotes mug in deep black, we call it. Okay, that's cappuccino. That's good. I think this is my 7th coffee today. That's a lot to stay awake. Okay. Everybody, hello. Yes. Oh, it stinks that I can't read a lot of the names. Hello, Michelle. Let's see. Yes, Friends had the same opening song every season, but some of the photos of the cast were updated during the opening credits. Yeah, I would have to watch them all, and it's funny because somewhere in my archives I have video of Raymond and myself in my house, where I was sharing a house with 2 other comedians in Palisades Park, New Jersey, and Ray was still living in Queens with his wife and twin boys, and what else? Oh, yes, a blonde daughter. And I remember Ray didn't have a dishwasher, could not afford a dishwasher at the time. So we were working on doing what ultimately became known as kind of Rayifying a script, where kind of Ray would go through it and put it more in his language. And Ray was thinking, how do we open this show? How does Friends do it? And I remember thinking, I think you're delusional because I don't know that you're going to be on the air, let alone you're thinking, Friends does this. Eventually we'll be as big as Friends. We should have an opening. But somewhere I have that video as proof, and it's very, very, very interesting to watch that footage. Yes, I'll have to watch the Friends show. Of course, Friends, a juggernaut of juggernauts. Okay, let me see. So Leo asks, was there consideration of Brones not living in New York? Not really, because with Ray's accent, it would have been really, really tough for Ray to be, you would have to write to it, as we would say. In other words, if something's a glaring problem, I can't even think of what that could be. If you have a Norwegian person who's the town mayor in Zaire, is that still a country? you would have to write to it. You have to address it. You can't be, the mayor can't be like, I'm blonde and blue eyed. And you've always lived here? Yeah, always lived here. No question. You have to write to that problem. So if Raymond was moved to, let's say, Mississippi, and the whole family is set in Mississippi, you'd be like, okay, you have to write that he's a New York transplant as a fish out of water, something. So could he have been in New Jersey? Yes. Could it, but the struggle with CBS was they did not want it to be in Queens. They wanted it to be more rural. And I think I've mentioned this before. They wanted Ray's, they didn't want to alienate the middle of the country. So they're like, okay, let's not have it in the city, even though a show called Friends and Seinfeld did okay, and they're based in New York City. So they're like, let's put it in the suburbs, even though Ray's from Queens. Okay, compromised by Phil. We did it. They did it. And then King Queens came along, and Kevin James, who's from Long Island, they put him in Queens. So there you go. That is what we call a problem of analysis and notes from a network that doesn't, they're guessing. They don't necessarily know. I don't know. Has anybody said, I'm not going to watch that show? It's based in New York. I am not going to enjoy Seinfeld. If it was based in a suburb, I would. Yes. Okay. Karen, yes, I now always appreciate how much the cast members' clothing always coordinates with each other. Yes. Did we answer coordinating? Yes. Okay, Leo, excellent. So I posted a photo. Good, Leo. Excellent. A gold star for Leo. That's what we used to say in school. I posted a picture of Frank and Marie, and I said, who would you want to sit next to at a wedding? And a lot of people are very afraid of being criticized by Marie, which is not unfounded. After watching Deborah putting up with terribleness after terribleness for 9 years, you think, oh, why would I want to subject myself to that? Frank, you feel like would be exceptionally funny and kind of lighten up and not be so serious. And Marie would be gossipy, etc. I would have to say, I don't know. I don't fear the criticalness of Marie. I don't enjoy pettiness. And I'd probably Frank if I had, it'd be hard to separate them. But I think I would, I'd probably sit more towards Frank. Of course, that's Frank, the character. The human being, I would love to sit between Doris and Peter. Peter was pure delight, as was Doris. A fun time, completely. Peter, very, very funny person. So I'm pausing. I do want to get into. I'm reading and filtering questions just in case I've answered them a bunch of times. Wow, so many questions. Mario thought her comments were coming from love. Yes. Ray in Mississippi. Yes. Ray in Mississippi would be funny. I don't know if Ray's ever been to Mississippi. My guess would be no. We did a tour once. Ray and I did a stand-up comedy tour once from Miami, Florida to Atlanta, Georgia. That was pretty south. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I wish I knew who asked this. Yes. Didn't I mention that Phil has the storyboard of the conveyor belt opening? Yes. Somewhere in Phil's garage, I have to take a picture of that, is what they call storyboard. Storyboard, for those of you that are not in the business, is literally just like when you see the comics in the newspaper. And it's just, this happens. That's a storyboard. And it's just an outline sketch of what happens. Phil, I think, said it just came to him, and they did that, and it's great. I mean, it's one of my favorite openings. So, okay, new comments. Wow. Okay, let's just see this. Let's just take a risk and just bring this up. I married into an Italian family, and they are totally reflected in the TV characters. My husband recognized the similarities, and we watch reruns almost every day together. Thank you for sharing inside details with us. Yes. Yeah, I think if you're, Phil used to say, Jewish family and Italian family, very close. I think we had 3 people, myself included, Steve Scrovan, whose father was Czech and his mother was Italian. But growing up on the East Coast is kind of that experience. So yes, I think it's a fairly accurate. And there's no shortage of passive aggressive mother-in-laws. No offense to mother-in-laws, but we've all had controlling people in our lives who want everything to be a certain way, and it's a tremendous struggle as our heart pours out for Deborah. Let's see. I love watching expressions of yes. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I'm just if it's something that we've already answered. Pretty much, yeah, but okay. Yes, great. I'm loving all of these. Now let me go back. Doris's tooth, yes, is fantastic. Let's see. Okay, this is all good information. Sorry, I'm just okay. Hi, Karen from Plymouth. Love the ornament, especially the Frank. We'll definitely order more than one. Yes, no pressure, anybody. I love those ornaments, but no pressure to order anything. You don't have to prove that you did. I just think they're really fun, especially the Frank one, and the sleds are unique. That's offered this year, as far as I know, for the first time. Okay, let me glance at some Instagram questions. Yes. Okay, I think I can't catch up. So, all right, if there's any fans, I see it, but it doesn't let me scroll. Okay, let's talk about the episode, which I posted the picture of, which I said, oh, let me just post this quick picture because it came to me. I've mentioned it before. We've discussed it a little, but I was like, oh, okay, we have these pictures. So here we go. For those of you that are not watching and just listening, it is Robert holding Monica on top of the refrigerator. Ray and Deborah are dancing behind. Then the next photo is pre-Deborah slam into the refrigerator. And I said, do you know what changes are? And by the way, one of the funniest moments now here, a year earlier, is Phil Rosenthal, the showrunner, giving notes to the cast. And some people wrote very pensive, very intense focus. Yes, they're all holding blue scripts. Here's the inside scoop. So that's not shoot day. This is a run-through day. So Phil is giving notes after a run-through of the scene. So after every scene, did we go through the whole script? Can't remember already. Wow, that's good. Good thing I have videotape. So Phil would give notes. These are acting notes. And again, hold on. Let me see if I can support my elbow so no one gets seasick. Phil's giving notes. Ray, you see Doris not in makeup and not with her hair done. Brad has his script on his chin. But the significance of this photo is not that Phil's giving notes, which happened every time. It is, if you look at the refrigerator, you can see that the wine rack is, okay, it won't let me hold. The wine rack is a little bit higher in this episode, which is from a year before. So everybody, tons and tons of people guessed it, but you can see this is the photographic proof. And if you look at the wine, come on, focus, here we go. If you look at the wine rack, you'll see it's higher. It's about 3 inches higher. So what happened? Well, that was written into the script. A lot of people are like, was that an accident? Nothing really was an accident. And I know people are like, nothing at all. I'm like, not really. So Brad Garrett looking into the Pepto-Bismol thing, like he made that as funny. You know, his expressions were about as funny as you could do. And I don't know that it said he searches in the script. It could have, but I don't know that it did. So not to take anything away from the actors, the slam into refrigerator was very well planned. Somewhere, if I get more time, I can scan photos of a run through where you see the silhouette of all the writers. And in the distance, you see Patricia Heaton holding her script as Ray is slamming her into the refrigerator. So she's kind of just, you know, sitting there as they're working out all of the details. So they had that plan. Brad Garrett was supposed to lift up Monica Horan, who's not heavy. Okay, just I want to add that in case I run into Monica ever again. She is not heavy, but Brad, I think, was having some back problems. So he's like, I can't get her on top of the fridge. So they said, okay, we will lower the fridge within reason, the same refrigerator. And I believe they took the feet off of the refrigerator and they were able to get a little bit more and Brad was able to do it. So that when people say switching refrigerators, that's what you would think you would have to do, but I think they took it off. And I think Ken Shapiro directed that episode, and when he visited here, he told that story, and I will find that video. So what we are trying to do is if we can take the small clips of answers to these and upload them, that's what our goal is to do. That's what our goal. Just assume what I said was English. Friends, yes. Oh, let me. Wow. Okay. Took on the time. So, sorry. It would be great to see the videos you took at that time. Yes. So, much like the photos I have, I have to digitize them, which means, let me see. Do I have my lens here? Yeah. Look at that. Right here. So when I digitize a lens, what does that mean to the layman? I take out the negative and I put the strip of negative into a holder. Then I attach this lens, which allows you to project light. I physically take a picture of the negative at the highest resolution possible, import it, convert it to a positive, clean it up, and then post it. So it's not like today, when you take a picture and you show a picture, take a picture, show a picture. So with the video, the behind the scenes video, I have to convert it so it can go into a computer. And these are on, some is on mini DV and some is on 8mm video. And so I have to do it quickly because I know they're degrading every day. And of course, I keep them directly in the sun on my back porch to make sure they stay warm. No, that is not true. They are in my basement, but the clock is ticking and it takes money and time. Okay. Your feed, Kim, I'm assuming that's you, is freezing on. I haven't seen anybody else. So is it possible that you have slower bits and bytes in Mississippi? Let me see. Yes. Oh, did I show that? Yes. We saw a lot of physical comedy between Ray and Pritchard over the years. Ever have any injuries? Deborah Splinter was pretty physical episode. Yeah. No, Patty, she deserves an award. I think she got roughed up, banged up, but not anything more than a normal actor in the course of doing stuff. So it's not like, hey guys, Patty got injured on that last thing, so here comes a lawsuit. We're going to be delayed. There's going to be nothing like that. So yeah, and that, I mean, Patty is really a trooper for doing all that. Thank you, Joe Man. The YouTube is flawless. No freezing, looking good over here. Okay, yeah, I think we have a pretty good rate. Let's see, how are we looking for time? Okay, so and someone's, I think it was Paula who said, did they switch the refrigerator? Did the audience know? So again, that happened during the week. There's a week of rehearsal, 4 days towards the end, 5 days at the beginning. And so when Brad on day one goes, hey, I can't get Monica up there, even though she's very light, they sit there and go, okay, the director's like, all right, either we lose the bit or we figure out another way that it can be done. So they would do it. I mean, they would figure out, okay, how do we do it? How do we solve this? How do we solve this problem? You know, or how do we lose the bit? That's it. I mean, as we would say, you know that you have to deliver a show. The train's pulling out of the station, so there's a lot of compromise that have to be had. Yeah, so that's a great question. How about when Brad slipped on the eggnog? Was he wearing knee pads or anything? You know, next time Brad is on, that is a good question for him. That's one of the funniest moments in the show. Also, lots of funny moments. But Brad falling, and Ray just recently, when we watched the episode, he's like, you know what makes me laugh is when Brad wants to say something and Deborah goes, "What is it, Robert?" And sorry, in my head I go by their real names, so I have to go back and forth. And so Amy goes, "Yes, go. What is it, Robert?" And he goes, "Okay, I'm going to do it." And he does this mumbling thing that you can't write. I wrote that episode, so I didn't write, "Hey, do the funniest mumble you've ever done." That's all Brad Garrett. And that's one of the funniest moments. But what we're talking about here is when he comes in and he falls on the eggnog. It's just the greatest comedy fall. And so I don't know whether he had any padding or not. It's a very good question. Yes, Lisa Jane, excellent about the thing. Yeah, that was the idea from that episode. I think who wrote that episode? You guys are gonna have to look it up. It was either Tucker and Phil or Phil and Jeremy. One of those. I can't remember. But it would have, I think it might have been a Tucker and Phil script. Somebody will send it to me. The Home, the writers of the Home episode. Yes, the menorah sale. Okay, now, you know, by the way, people have been saying, I have this, right? I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but this is a cookie tin I picked up at a flea market. No, it is the canister which held cookies. And I've said this before, and I saw that one of the oldest brands Phil, Tucker, and Jeremy wrote The Home. And then who wrote Not So Fast? That probably wasn't them. Here we go. So we would eat Jeremy Stevens. We had a big fight about what's better, Hydrox or Oreos. And so we had a cookie eating contest, anything to get out of working or writing. That's what we would do. Again, props. Thanks to the props lady for giving me the canister. But we would eat cookies. And so that's what we like to do is eat cookies. This. You guys call them biscuits in the UK. What do you call them in Australia? What do you call a Tim Tam? Is that a biscuit or a cookie or what else would that be? Are we out of options? Biscuits and cookies. A treat? I don't know. We'll have to come up with a little bit of a synonym contest. So we don't really have. So here we go. Walkers. Where are these from, everybody? Is this Scotland? Okay, Scotland. There we go. So it's not a very popular cookie. You know what? I feel like I'm just going to have to do this officially every time I can. Here, guy behind you in the theater. That's my impression. Okay, you guys enjoying that? The top. I think I'm just going to do a taste test and rank every cookie that was ever made. Pull it out of the trusty can. Let me put this back in there. God forbid Marie comes in. Okay, let's put them in there. Although I want to show the package probably again. I should show the package. Okay, hold on. By the way, I haven't had anything that's not delicious. It's just they're all different flavor profiles. So I have to compare other shortbreads, but this is really, really good. I don't want to get snooty, like getting hints of lemon and a waft of something, but this is really good. And the problem with American cookies, and I like them, but they're so sweet, like your teeth hurt. Okay, hold on. Sorry, everybody. Oh yeah, that's really good. That's a really good shortbread. Where do they rank my UK people there we go. Shortbread fingers. Nice. Not a good nickname to have, but good for a cookie or a biscuit. Okay. All right. So send me your suggestions. I will get every cookie. We have to land. Oh, I'm out of focus. Here we go. There we go. We have to land on a symbol of a ranking. Do we do 1 through 10? Do we do a hokey thing like 5 cookies? All right. Let's take a vote and I will do it. I promise to do it. Okay. What is this, Karen? Maple Oreos in Canada? Never heard of a maple Oreo. Okay. Yes. Walkers are yummy, but I haven't met a shortbread cookie I didn't love. Oh, I don't want to help anyone's addiction by endorsing shortbread cookies. I should rethink this at all. Okay. Shortbread is very nice, usually a treat for Christmas. So it's not a year-round thing, even though it can be. But for the most part, you think of it as a Christmas time thing. Is that true? Oh, this is so helpful. Oh, here we go. See, I can't tell. If you write your name, I'll be able to know. I had my first Jammy Dodger last week. I was searching shelves for something, and all of a sudden, there they were. Oh, Annabelle. There you go. See, I didn't read to the end. And did you like them, Annabelle? You can't leave people in suspense. That's setting us up. And then no answer. Did you enjoy them? Okay, let me see. I wonder, and were they reasonably priced, Annabelle? So for those of you who don't know, Annabelle was one of the few, she might be the only fan other than Gil who has held the canister in real life. She held it on the set of Everose Raymond. Yes, have a Hydrox, take the edge off. Yes. Yes. Oh, look at this. Okay, great. Okay, so Walker's is doing very well in the popularity contest. All right, let's talk about, before we run out of time, an episode. Oh, what else? Oh, you know what else I have here? For my Italian friends, this was sent to me by my friend Bobby, who we had a guest. He was a guest on. He would send us pastry chefs. Pastries from upstate New York, where he is. His pasticceria is called Villa Italia in Schenectady. But he makes, okay, so for those of you that aren't Italian, Torrone. Okay, so this is his Torrone. Okay, so I'm just sharing this with you. It's a nougat candy. Okay, authentic soft nougat candy. So for those of you that are Italian, a lot of you know that nougat, you think of teeth breaking nougat. So he sent me this, and since I'm a gluttonous person, clearly, I decided to try it, and it is soft and pillowy. So here, for you non-Italians, or I know nougat is in France. I know it's not just Italian, so back off, everybody, on all of these accusations. Here is what it looks like, okay, on the inside. And I showed this to I brought it for my sister, and she was explaining to her kids. She said, okay, kids, be careful with your teeth. My sister might be a dental hygienist. Be careful with your teeth because they're really, really hard, and you will break a tooth. But not this. This, okay, I'm going to, in the all gluttonous broadcast here. Here we go. I'm going to take a bite of that. This is, it's almonds, honey, etc. Okay, hold on. Oh, this is pillowy soft. I've never tasted anything like this. So those of you that have nougat, have you ever had Torrone? Torrone's a generic name. Torrone, I guess you say it. If you're trying to be pompous and pretend to be Italian, or me. Is it soft? Have you had any really soft? So this is like unbelievably soft and delicious. Hold on. And my friend who's gluten-free, who can't eat anything, can eat this. Oh, really good. It's really, really good. Nougat. I think it's more, is that more of a Christmas thing? Wow. I'm going to have to, did I drop the box again? I don't know. This is a good time to wash something down. Here we go. Now, Is it rude to eat on camera? No. Ask Phil Rosenthal. Somebody feed Phil. Does it all the time. This is today's tea. Okay, everybody. All right. The script. I really have to chew this now, though. You guys, could you guys talk a little? Yeah. Well, gluten-free. But my friend is gluten-free. This is gluten-free. My friend's also allergic to everything. But she can eat this, so she will eat a ton of it. By the way, this is such a heavy metal. Somebody wrote, I'm holding up the canister for those that are just listening. Somebody wrote, how did the canister survive all of the banging and kicking? This is such a heavy, this is like, I think you could shoot this and it wouldn't. This is really, really, this is not like a tin that you would get saltines in. All right. So, all right. Yes, Joe, man. Okay. This is a little bit harder to chew than a shortbread. Sorry, everybody. I'm very sorry. I'll write everybody a personal apology. Oh, yeah. What do they call them? Does it say? Cookies. Okay, so they call them cookies. Okay. This, I set a trap so nobody would eat them. It's cookies. Okay, we'll eat those on another one. I know I have in the past. Okay, so what script did Raymond say? This was kind of a turning point for the show and a feeling that, holy moly, I'm really enjoying this show and not tortured by it. So, we're in season 1. Would anybody like to guess? We're going to write some answers. What episode did Ray go, you know what? I really enjoyed that episode. It really flew by. I can't say anything bad about it. Who would like to write? Let me see. Yes, Milky Way 3 made with nougat. Okay. Yes, Teresa, who I trust implicitly as an Italian. Tyrone is usually rock hard. Tyrone. Yes. Jammy Dodgers at World Market. Yes. Lily Rose, I don't know where you are, but for those of you that don't know, World Market sells a lot of international stuff. Okay, yes. The Ted Lasko biscuits are shortbread, easy to make. You could make them. Kelly Nickel Pickle. Hard to take that one seriously, and I believe you. I will try and make them. Okay, scrolling through. Wow, a lot of love for that. All right. Does the canister have a brand name? No, sorry. The canister, I think, was custom made, so there's no markings. Trust me, if there was, we would buy them all. So they're nothing. There's even some glue on the top. There's zero marking. We've gone over it with a microscope. There's zero markings. Okay, so somebody guessed it, but there's no name. Good Girls was a great episode. Tom, I gain another pound every time you show a different cookie. That is your problem. That is not me. Okay, so people writing, was the recovering pessimist? Yes, Ray really liked that. So it's not that he didn't like any of the other episodes. It was like at this point, he was like, oh, this was a really good episode. It flew by. And we're trying to figure out why it was. Okay. It was okay, yeah, a lot of new people. Sorry. You know what I need to do? I need to make an introduction video for everybody so they can follow along. How did you meet Ray on ElLR? No, I met Ray doing stand-up comedy in New York City in 1990, I want to say. Then I played on his softball team, and then we would work together. I would be kind of his opening act, but we didn't call it that. But I was a very clean-cut, single comedian and who was nice. And Ray was doing all married material. And so we did a lot of stand-up comedy together. So I knew Ray when he was poor and not famous. Okay. Here we go, folks. Standard deviation written by Stephen Scrovan. Okay. I think it was it the 4th episode, maybe the 5th episode? And for those of you that are asking how I met Raymond, if you haven't seen this before, these are wardrobe photos that are Polaroids that taken by the wardrobe department that were going to go in the dumpster that I rescued from the dumpster. Every episode, every scene, every actor, they would take a Polaroid and write notes so they could match what they were wearing in case they had to reshoot the scene. That's obviously inside of Nemo's. There's Doris next to Raymond. Yeah, which episode is it? Episode 4, I think. That would make sense. Okay, yes, perfect. There's Raymond in his skivvies, as we say. Let's see, what is the second photo? Okay. By the way, these are treasures. You know, back then, they're like, let's throw them out. Look at this, huh? That's from what we call the tag. Doris and Peter waiting there. Of course, I'm with Stupid. And as I've said before, because some people have commented, why are they crooked? Wardrobe department's job is to capture what they're wearing, not make a good photo. So they want to get in and out and not bother anybody, but they would have to take a flash because it was back in the day of Polaroid. Now they do it all digitally. So they would have to say on set flashing so that when the flash bulb went off, the head of the DP and the head of the lighting, the gaffer, wouldn't look up and go, "Uh-oh, we just blew a light." So flashing helped them know. Okay, there's Peter. All right, let me see. Aha. Yes. Brad Garrett, extra tall outfit. Sorry, I was trying to read through. We love Peter. There is Tom McGowan, who went to college with Phil Rosenthal. Yeah, street smarts. Exactly. I love that you guys are quoting it. Okay, here is Patricia Heaton looking very domestic. There we go. Let's see. Can I even make that better? I don't know. That's clothing that was obviously somewhere. Let's see. A lot of scene changes for Patty in this one. There we go. Little Argyle. And again, the actors aren't sad or depressed. They're just in between, and sometimes they're focused, sometimes they're not. There's Patty. There's a makeup person or wardrobe person behind Patty. And for those of you that are new and you're like, oh, you call her Patty. Yes, that's what we called her. Okay. Oh, I guess she had a... There we go. Was she in... Did they have a fight in that? Well, they always have a fight in the bedroom. There's Patty in... I don't know, what would you call that? A nightgown? And there's... So these robes were very popular at the time, and now I think they've come back. So there we go. Let's see if it says what it is. So notes: robe, pink terry cloth with multi-print, worn clothes tied, not knotted. Okay, so a lot of notes, a lot of copious notes they would have to take. Marie Doris Roberts, of course, there's a lot of comments, everybody, about the makeup that looks like she's in kabuki makeup, and we don't know why yet. They think some of the theories of people are that the flash really brightens it and makes it look white, but I do think it was white. Yes, actually, sorry. The episode, for those of you who don't remember, was the IQ test where Robert lies, and it's more a psychological thing to see how people react. And that's when Deborah, and I will tell you the story. There's Madeline Sweeten. Okay, I realize we're running out of cookies. Here we go. Let me not write this. A great sorry. It's very hard to not get glare. Also, Maggie Wheeler, everybody, holding up. She originally, her character was very New York, holding up her nails. There you go. That wasn't too annoying, my Maggie Wheeler accent. Now, here we go. Also, I think, is Susan Varon in that? Yes. Susan Varon, who's a waitress. Wolfgang, who's Ray's stand-in, who you guys met. And then two other people who were just stand-ins inside of Nemo's. So, standard deviation, wardrobe copy, table draft. Okay. September 4th, 1996. That's a long time ago. So, in that moment, Ray and I were watching the show, The Rough Cut, in the apartment that we shared, and Peter Boyle was in the room above us. And after watching The Rough Cut, which has no color correction, no sound correction, so for most people, it's like, oh, this show stinks. Ray's like, oh, I really, really enjoyed that. I really think he was excited for the first time because, you're overwhelmed. And also, you're working so hard during the week and you can't get a distance from the show. You can't enjoy it. So on stage while filming, Steve Scrovan was standing next to Phil Rosenthal when Deborah puts the ice cream into Ray's lap. And it was such a long laugh that I can't remember if Phil turned to Ray or Steve turned to Phil and said, hey, we're going to be rich. Something like that, which for one of them was true. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so asking where everyone is from originally. So I don't know if I can answer all of them, but I'll try. Ray Romano from New York, from Queens, New York. Doris, I think, originally from New York. Patricia Heaton, Ohio, I believe Cleveland, Ohio, but I don't know if that's where she was born, but definitely grew up, effectively grew up there. I think, was Doris Roberts St. Louis, Missouri? Okay. Yeah, St. Louis, Missouri. And then Peter, I believe, grew up in Philadelphia because his father was the host of a children's show. So his father, I know that Philly was his source. Yeah. Brad Garrett from out here being, we're out here in Hollywood. But he was out, I think he's from the Valley somewhere. So, okay, hold on. I have to take another sip. Yes, Oxnard. Brad Garrett, Oxnard. It's way out past LA. It's probably an hour and a half drive, way out there. Wow. Here's a tip. Don't eat nougat. Eat shortbread on camera. Don't eat nougat because it's still, okay, hold on. Here we go. For those of you that said, show it to me again. There you go. And for those of you that can't see, I'm holding up a delicious white with slices of almond and honey to the camera. Yeah, my friend Bobby's Villa Italia thing. I should post a link. Should I post a link? I don't know if you can get it by mail. I think you can. It probably travels well, but it's pillowy soft, an unusual thing. All right, final questions. Let's catch up before we say goodbye. Did I cover everything? I'm drinking tea. I'm speaking rapidly because I've had very little sleep, and I'm going like a crazy man here. Let's see. Street smarts, yes. We lived in Cleveland for 5 years and Philadelphia for 9 years. My husband's from Queens and is Italian. Wow. That's a lot of overlap. That is huge. Okay. Yes. So Karen, we didn't know them, but we met Phil and Tom. We established that they had been there at the same time. I think, is that Karen Jack referring to? Yes, I was stupid. So, yes, Tom and Phil was on tour promoting his book. Okay. Yes. We all love Maggie Wheeler. That's for sure. Every time Robert says hi, cute test, he taps his forehead. Yes. A little funny moment. I'm guessing that might be Brad Garrett edition. Yes. Therein lies the issue with nougat. It takes forever to actually finish. Yeah, I wish I could share this with everybody. I wish we could have a little round table. Okay, someday an in-person meetup somewhere. Maybe Phil will go to England someday, and I will hitch a ride, and share some nougat and other treats. I mean, that's Ray's specialty. That's Phil's specialty. Okay, let me check on Instagram. Yes, Ray, by the way, I'm looking at, okay. Yes. The Polaroids last, I'm shocked. The Polaroids have not disintegrated at all, deteriorated at all. I do have some VHS that I popped in and it's already degrading. Not of the show, but from before the show when Ray was on the road doing tour. I have those videos, and the initial ones have degraded. Yes, for those of you, the twins, Ray's twins, if you look it up, I'll share it, have a documentary about being twins, and Ray is in it, and his wife is in it. Ray and Anna Romano are in it, but it's a very good documentary. I've seen it. I've met the twins once or twice. So I've known the twins since they're 3 years old, I would say, or two or three, something like that. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I have pictures of Anna pregnant. So before they were born. So just to correct that little fact. You never know when you get it fact checked. But that documentary premiered at the Fort Lauderdale Film Festival, I believe, last night. I will send you a link. I don't know when. Usually it's at a film festival, then it has to be bought, and is it available? Something like that. So I don't know where you can watch it, but it's really, really good. And Ray's twins are really, really nice. And I'm very, happy for them because it's not easy growing up with a famous father, especially when you started, You know, it depends what you're trying to do in life. But I don't. I'm very glad not to be the child of a Beatle, for example, can be challenging if you want to go into the music business. All right, everybody, I will see you next week. Thank you for all your comments. I will post some of these pictures. Remember, share the word. If you see anybody in another Ed Brothers Raymond Facebook site, mention our site, because we have only facts and all this stuff. And I see a lot of the other ones have some terrible stuff, and a lot of them also take my photos and take my captions, but don't give credit for the photos, which is interesting because all they have to do is share or say it. I don't know why they don't do it. But for the true fans that don't want to see bad posts, send them this way. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. As soon as I get my Christmas ornaments in my hand, I will share a picture. See you all next week.